If you're paying attention to the stories that are now coming out across the country, the lines could not be clearer between good and evil. I'd like to start out today's video by reading three scriptures that I think are incredibly appropriate for the current times we live in. John 10:10. The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. 1 Corinthians 15:58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, forasmuch as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. Sometimes that term sound mind gets translated as self-discipline. 2 Timothy 1:7. Now, if you could describe any area of the country where people are operating in power and in love and with a sound mind, where would it be? Where would it be? Where are people operating in fear? Where are thieves coming to steal and kill and destroy? It is absolutely clear where you should not be and where you should be, and where the Spirit of God is and where He isn't. I spent the morning putting this map together to kind of illustrate this. It looks very much like the Missouri Compromise from way back years ago in the middle of the 19th century. The Northeast is pretty much a lost cause. The story coming out of there has to do with Governor Cuomo. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with what's been revealed now. How they hid information that could have been used politically against them, and by doing so, cost the lives of thousands. We still see BLM protests all across New York, the West Coast, a complete basket case. Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, completely lost causes. But the South and parts of the West, people are happy. People are going back to work. Kids are in school. Life is normal. Life more abundantly exists in only a couple places now. I labeled these areas because I think it's important for my audience to know what the way going forward must be. There are places that just need to be abandoned. There are places that just need to be abandoned. The D.C. tyranny zone, stretching from Virginia to Maine, a lost cause. I know there are good people that still reside. They need to get out. I've created this centralized zone, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky. People in those states, you need to act as a refugee territory so that even people coming from Canada can find their way in. They might have to make a harrowing journey through the northern wastelands in this little corridor in southeastern Michigan to make it into free territories. But this should be the goal down here, the sovereign dominion of southern states. Because there's another story, another idea that I don't think a lot of people have thought about. Classically, Southern conservatives don't really see themselves as allies with the music industry or the entertainment industry. And for good reason, for good reason. But those people want to get back to work. They want to get out in front of audiences again. They want to begin entertaining again because that's how they make their money. That's life more abundantly for them. Well, they're not going to find those venues open out in the empire of New Sodom, stretching from Washington down to Arizona. They're not going to find those venues open in the Northeast, but they're going to find those venues open down here. That's something we need to kind of think about, because that could be a giant source of revenue for the sovereign dominion. This little area here, Corporate Cartel West, I think that pretty much says it all. They have now decided that they want to make all of their money from the sale and use of illicit drugs. So be it. Let the states decide what direction they want to chart. I'm a big states' rights guy, and guys, believe me, I know this sounds horrible, but looking back now and looking at what has occurred, I think this was actually the best of all outcomes. Because look at everything that's been revealed now. There is no somewhat hypocritical kind of weird codependent relationship with DC anymore. We can wash our hands of DC. Mr. Trump and his family have come home. There's a reason he made his home here. Think about that for just a minute. There's a reason he made his home here, not in New York. I'm personally glad that he's back within our borders. His daughter, his grandsons, his granddaughters. I'm sure he's happy about that too. People out west in the Blue Skies Alliance, I know a lot of this is all federal territory. And that's something that I think you guys are going to have to come to some kind of a reckoning with. I'm not sure how, but Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas, Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Missouri. I just don't know. I'll be very honest with you. I just don't know. There's so much of this land that is under federal control. I know you are good people, and I know you believe in proper governance, but there's that balancing act. The Northern Wastelands speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. It has tyrants in charge. Chicago pretty much governs the entire region, to be truthful. I mean, yes, there's Whitmer and there's Evers, and I don't even know who the governor of Minnesota is, to be very truthful. I completely forgot. But truly, this area is entirely governed by Chicago. And that's the reality of it. A good portion of northern Indiana is controlled as well, all the way over to Detroit. I know it shouldn't all be about money, but think about that critically for one moment. I mean, there is no sane person that would say just being rich makes you happy. But imagine going to the grocery store and not looking at prices. Just getting the things you want in the quantities that you want and not worrying about it. These are the things that I want. I don't look at the price tag. I just put them in the cart, and then I go check out and I give them the whatever little card and you go, and living life like that. Think about the amount of stress that would be lifted off of your shoulders if that were not a consideration. If just going through and paying the bills every month was just simply a more of a ministerial type of activity where you don't have to worry about it. See, I used an image, and I probably should have done a better job of explaining it than I did. This screenshot is in the center, of course, it's Nelly. It's from a video years ago, Ride With Me. This gentleman's from the South. He's from St. Louis region. Has done a great deal of philanthropic work with his money, with his blessing. And the reason I juxtaposed it with Ivanka is because you don't want to just necessarily be rich for the sake of it. And I don't know if be rich is even the right term, but be blessed perhaps. When you can take your power, your position, the blessing that you have, and you can use that to bless others, that's what it's really about. And Nelly has done that in his life and in his career. And unlike a lot of his compatriots, he has kind of stayed out of the traps. He was accused of something once a long time ago, and it was proven completely and conclusively false. And that's pretty much it. And during her time, in D.C., Ivanka used her position to bless others. And now she's down in Miami and enjoying a wonderful time with her kids and eating ice cream on the beach. And I think if anybody has earned it, it's her. Having put up with what she put up with. Personally, this idea of the travel ban, I'm kind of ambivalent about it, to be truthful. Because we thought about actually doing it ourselves. About closing the northern border. Or at least filtering those coming from northern states. Now, I don't think the Biden administration was talking about prohibiting people traveling from Florida, but traveling to Florida. That would be a restriction on people not in Florida. Does that make sense? Because if you're traveling to Florida, by then definition, you're not in Florida. So it wouldn't be anything that would be done to the people of Florida. And as far as the people of Florida leaving our state, honest to God, I don't know anybody who is even considering it at this moment in time. I mean, the idea of the DC saying, okay, people in Florida, you must stay there. Okay. Yeah, twist my arm. Yeah, twist my arm. I mean, golly, don't go north? Oh, gee. Yeah, I had planned to go tour the beautiful cities of Detroit and Philly and New York, but man, gosh, what a disappointment. I'll have to stay down here at the beach. Man, Joe Biden, you sure ruined my day. It's just silly. It really is. But especially this first scripture, John 10:10, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. If that doesn't describe the left, I don't know what does. I am come that they might have life, and they might have it more abundantly. Abounding in the work of the Lord with a spirit of fear. Pardon me, without a spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. I think that pretty much sums it up. God bless everyone. Have a happy weekend. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time.